And how's it going, everybody? It is Skullzi here with the latest and the greatest gaming news. And the news I have for you today is a pretty interesting and crazy situation involving everyone's favorite CEO in the gaming industry right now, and that is the CEO of Gearbox, the CEO of the company bringing us Borderlands 3, which I am super hyped for. I'm talking about that Randy Pitchford. Although a lot of people probably want to call him something like Randy Pitchforks right now because he's been in the news for a lot of stuff. Now, before I get into this information, I want to say first and foremost, I really love Gearbox. I am super hyped for Borderlands 3, and even though I don't approve of their decision to be a timed exclusive with the Epic Games Store, I am still hyped for the game, and I actually do like Randy Pitchford as a person. He seems like a pretty cool, interesting dude, like he's super passionate about what he does, but I don't agree with some of the strange things he's been doing lately. I don't agree with him seemingly blindly defending the Epic Games Store and his company's decision to be a timed exclusive with the Epic Games Store. It seems like he's not touching on all the real issues that the community is having with this situation, is kind of trying to skirt around it without commenting on why people are really upset. But all things aside, that's his company's decision, that's his right to have his opinion. I'm not dogging on him for that in this video, and in fact the things in this video may not even be true, but there's a lot of stuff, a lot of buzz going on in the gaming industry. A lot of gaming websites and articles are talking about this, and even Gearbox have put out an official response, so I did want to break this down for you guys today, because as always, I'm gonna be recording my screen. That way you can see that my bullshit capacity meter is always running at 0%, and that way you can look this information up for yourself to verify it if you choose to. So yeah, obviously today we're talking about Randy Pitchford, because when he's not defending Epic Games, when he's not slamming the PAX crew for their technical difficulties during the Borderlands 3 trailer showcase.
Please help me out, you guys. I love PAX, but come on. We should have brought our own equipment, right? Can we do it, you guys? No, they're amazing. It's just there's a lot to manage here, and it's 4K, and it's kind of new.
He is supposedly ripping off employees and maybe even going as far as physically assaulting them. Now, like I said, a lot of people are covering this information. The one article that I'm going to be going off of today is going to be from VG247, but there's a lot of other articles out there covering this, and I'm going to just go through this information with you guys, tell you what's happening, tell you how plausible this might be, what I think about it, and what this could mean, if anything, for Borderlands and Randy Pitchforks. So first of all, this involves David Eddings, who is actually Gearbox's former vice president of licensing and the original voice for Claptrap. During the recent Borderlands 3 gameplay reveal, I kinda noticed that Claptrap didn't seem to have the same voice actor, and this is why, because David Eddings isn't doing the voice for Claptrap in Borderlands 3. Even though I'm super hyped for the game still, that is still a major bummer, because Claptrap has an iconic voice when it comes to the Borderlands franchise, and having a different voice for Claptrap just kinda takes me back a bit. I mean, the voice is similar enough to where it seems like it's almost an older version of Claptrap or something, so I guess I can look past it, but it still kinda sucks. But the reason that David Eddings didn't do the voice for Claptrap is because, well, he wanted to, but he wasn't going to accept the job unless he was paid past dues and royalties for his previous work for Claptrap in the previous Borderlands games. I don't know what kind of exact deal that David Eddings had with Gearbox. These exact details haven't come forward yet, but it seems like he hasn't been paid for a lot of the work that he did for Claptrap. Apparently, the royalties were going to be the major part of his payment for doing all of this voice work. So essentially, he did almost all of the voices for Claptrap thus far for free. When Gearbox approached him with the job offer for Claptrap for Borderlands 3, he said he'd do it if he was paid past royalties and if he was given an apology by Randy Pitchford for supposedly physically assaulting him in a previous event back in 2017. The supposed assault happened within the lobby of the Marriott Marquis at GDC 2017, and David Eddings didn't go into too many details, but he did want an apology from Randy Pitchford as well as the royalties for doing all of the voice work for Claptrap. Obviously, Gearbox didn't give him any of this stuff, and obviously Randy Pitchford didn't apologize because we would have heard about this situation by now, but because none of this happened, and because David Eddings obviously knows that a different voice actor was hired for Claptrap Claptrap. He feels like he was totally ripped off. He probably feels super pissed right now, and this is why he came forward and is public with this information. He also goes on to say that just working with Randy Pitchford was kind of a nightmare. I guess Randy is really smug and stuck up and calls normal people who aren't like CEOs or major players in the gaming industry, he calls just normal people, I guess, like me and you, muggles. He calls the fans and the community muggles, I guess. I don't know if he thinks he's a Harry Potter wizard or if this is just some stuff that David Eddings is just saying to just add on to the pile of crap that he's trying to throw at Randy Pitchforks right now. And I don't even know if any of this is true, but I don't know why David Eddings would have any reason to lie about any of this. He was the former VP of licensing for Gearbox Studios, so his resume is probably pretty solid. I don't know why he'd lie to start all this drama to benefit his career. In fact, this drama would probably do more to hurt his career than it would benefit it, so I don't think he'd be lying about this. The only reason I think that he would be lying about this is if there's just stuff going on that we don't know about. Maybe he's gotten fired or was in some sort of trouble and he's just trying to do whatever he can to stay in the radar or get his name back out there, or I don't know. But I tend to believe him. I don't think he's lying. I don't think he's doing any of that. I think he's being honest. The physical assaulting thing, maybe he's being a little over-exaggerative on, but that I don't even know. That I just know that when people get mad at each other, they like to over-exaggerate a bit. Like maybe Randy Pitchford got in his face, got in his personal space.
Now why don't we step up here and everybody get stepped up and let's get some stepped up personal space up in this place.
Kind of triggered him a bit, and now he's saying that he was physically assaulted. Some people do that. I'm not saying that's what David Eddings is doing. I'm just trying to see all the possibilities here so we can kind of see what the most likely scenario is. Do I think David Eddings was ripped off of royalties? I most likely do. He's the former VP of licensing with Gearbox. I don't know if he was let go on bad terms and maybe they're doing whatever they can to destroy the bridge, to just cut ties totally with David Eddings. I'm not sure. Those details haven't emerged. But Randy Pitchford is known to be one of the more outspoken CEOs in the gaming industry. During, like I said earlier in this video, during the PAX East showcase of 2019, when Borderlands 3 was having its initial trailer debut, they had some technical issues, and Randy Pitchford did say, maybe we should have brought in our own crew for this. Do the PAX East crew need some help? He said something to that degree. I don't want to quote him word for word, but it was a pretty savage call out. So he kind of has a reputation for not holding back when he gets passionate or emotional or whatever about something. But does that mean that he would physically assault somebody? I don't think that's fair to say that he would. But again, I don't know anything. A lot of people are talking about this. David Eddings is out here talking about this publicly. And like I said before, saying his previous boss assaulted him would do more to hurt his career than it would to benefit him. So I definitely don't think he's lying about all this. It might be a little over-exaggerated, but I do tend to believe that he probably was ripped off or not paid royalties for his work voicing Claptrap in the previous games. It's a huge disappointment that the original voice for Claptrap isn't going to be returning in Borderlands 3, but it's something that I'll be able to look past, and I'm sure the rest of the community will as well. Now, like I said, Gearbox did give an official statement to this situation, but it was full of all that corporate bullshit that you can expect from an official statement. And what Gearbox's official response was, Gearbox takes any and all claims of this nature very seriously, and we will abstain from commenting on the allegations Dave is making because it is a personal matter. We appreciate Dave's contributions to the Borderlands franchise, and have continued to assert that we would welcome him back into the mix as a voice of Claptrap and other future opportunities. And that's it. Randy Pitchford hasn't said anything other than going on the usual tirade about microtransactions and miscommunication and all this other crap. He's usually going off on something on Twitter all the time. I do kind of respect him a bit for being so outspoken, but as a CEO, you kind of need to check yourself a bit and at least respond to the real information. The main issue I have with Randy Pitchford is he totally ignores why the gaming community is mad about the Epic Games Store and tries to make it seem like it's some type of weird trolling or hating or just review bombing, and that's not what it's about. People are mad that an inferior service that lacks just basic features are getting all of these exclusives. It's like if a taxi company came into town, took out all the other cabs, took out Uber somehow and Lyft, and they offered you a taxi service that you had to use, but they didn't have air conditioning and heating or a radio or anything. Maybe they don't even have doors, who knows, because the Epic Games Store just wants to have all of this monopoly while not offering a valid service. That's why I'm mad at Randy Pitchford. Like I said, I still am very hyped for Borderlands 3. I still actually respect and kinda like Randy Pitchford, but what I wanna know is, what do you have to say about all of this? Do you think that he was not only ripped off of his royalties due for voicing Claptrap, but do you think maybe even Randy Pitchford physically assaulted him? Do you think this is legit? Let me know down in the comments below, and if your comment wins the intro, then I may get featured in a future video. Don't forget to subscribe to stay in the know when it comes to the latest and the greatest gaming news. Be sure to follow me over on Twitter for the latest channel updates and random stuff about me. Come over to the Discord channel chat server where there is always an awesome and active conversation taking place. Check out Loot Drop, the official Skullzi channel merchandise site where you can buy a bullshit capacity meter t-shirt to let everyone know that your bullshit capacity meter is always running at 0%. And if you want to have your hands in providing future content and getting access to unique and awesome awards, as well as access to my latest gaming discoveries before I even do videos about them, then consider subscribing to the community on Patreon or joining the channel as an exclusive channel member. Links for all of these awesome things are down in the description below. And as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time when hopefully the Epic Games Store gets its head out of its ass and provides some basic features. But who am I kidding? That's not gonna happen.
Bye, have a great time.